The sun was barely rising over the sleepy town as Anna fastened her apron and stepped into the small roadside diner where she had been working for the last 3 years. At 24, she carried the weariness of someone twice her age. Her shifts were long, her wages low, and life hadn't offered her many breaks. But she smiled anyway, because that's who she was. This morning felt no different. The booths filled slowly with the usual early risers, farmers, truckers, and the occasional traveling family. Anna moved between tables, pouring hot coffee, and offering her warm morning sweethearts to anyone who needed it. The bell above the door jingled softly, and Anna turned to welcome the next customer. A tall, sharply dressed man walked in, carrying a small boy in his arms. The boy was about 8, maybe 9, but he was motionless, his head resting gently against the man's shoulder, arms limp at his side. His face was pale, and his eyes stared ahead quietly. The man, who clearly didn't belong in this dusty diner with his polished shoes and designer coat, gently set the boy into a booth and sat beside him. Anna, wiping her hands on her apron, approached with a menu. "Good morning," she greeted. "Just the two of you today?" The man nodded, distracted. "Yes, my son and I." Anna placed a glass of water in front of each of them and glanced at the boy. Something about the child tugged at her heart. "Hi there, buddy," she whispered softly. "You hungry?" The boy didn't respond. His eyes drifted to the table, blinking slowly. He had a spinal injury," the man offered with a tight smile. "He can't move very much, or speak, really." Anna's heart sank. "I'm so sorry." The man nodded again, his expression unreadable. "His name is Samuel." Anna kneeled beside the booth. "Hi, Samuel." "I'm Anna. I'll take good care of you, okay?" For a second, the boy's eyes flickered to hers. A tiny reaction, a blink. But it was there. The man, whose name she would learn later was Mr. Dawson, ordered eggs and toast for both of them. When the food arrived, Anna returned with a fork in hand and said, "If you don't mind, I'd be happy to help him eat." Mr. Dawson hesitated. "You don't have to, I want to," she said gently. "You look tired," he did. Beneath his well-groomed exterior were dark circles and shoulders that drooped slightly, like a man carrying too much for too long. She took a seat across from Samuel, cut the eggs into small bites and began feeding him. Slowly, patiently, she spoke to him with each bite, smiling, coaxing, encouraging. At one point he almost smiled back. A tiny twitch at the corner of his mouth. Mr. Dawson watched in silence, his eyes softening. No one had ever looked at his son that way in months, not with pity, but with kindness. With time. When breakfast was over, Mr. Dawson thanked her, left a large tip, and carried his son out of the diner. Anna didn't expect to see them again, but the next day they returned, and the next. And the next. Each morning, Anna would feed Samuel. She learned his subtle expressions, the blink that meant yes, the glance away that meant no. She talked to him about silly things, cloud shapes, favorite animals, pancake toppings. She made him laugh with her voice alone. Mr. Dawson remained quiet during these visits, watching, thinking, sometimes stepping out to take a call, sometimes just staring out the window with sadness etched into every line on his face. It wasn't until the third week that Anna finally asked, "What happened?" Mr. Dawson looked down. "A car accident. Last year, drunk driver, my wife died, Samuel barely survived." Anna's chest tightened. "He hasn't spoken since. Doctor said he may never. I've taken him everywhere, Europe, the best hospitals, in New York, but..." He trailed off. "He still needs love," Anna whispered. He looked at her then. Really looked at her. "You give him that," he said. Weeks turned into months. Samuel became more responsive. One day he laughed. Soft, raspy sound that surprised everyone. Another day he managed to hold a spoon on his own. Little things, but miracles for them, and Anna was there for all of it. Then one morning, Mr. Dawson didn't come, and then the next morning, and the next. Anna tried not to worry. Maybe they were traveling. Maybe they'd gone for treatment, but a week passed. Then too, she felt like she'd lost something precious. On the third week, a sleek black car pulled up outside the diner. The driver stepped out, approached Anna, and handed her a sealed envelope. Inside was a note. Anna, you changed my son's life. You changed mine, too. We've returned to New York for long-term care. But I couldn't leave without giving you something in return. Come to this address. If you choose not to, know that I'm forever grateful. James Dawson. At the bottom was an address in Manhattan and a plane ticket. Anna stared at it, unsure what to do. Everyone in town encouraged her. He's a billionaire, Anna. The cook whispered, you changed his boy's life. Maybe now he wants to change yours. Nervously, she packed her things and boarded the plane. She had never left her state, let alone flown to New York. The city was blindingly fast and loud. The total opposite of her sleepy town. She arrived at a towering building, glass and steel reaching the clouds. A butler led her to the top floor. She stepped into a bright, open penthouse. Samuel was there in a wheelchair still, but beaming. When he saw her, Anna cried. He lifted one hand shakingly, then whispered, Anna. It was the first word he had spoken in over a year. She dropped to her knees beside him, hugging him tightly. Mr. Dawson appeared behind them. I want to offer you something, he said. Not out of pity, but because we need you. You're the reason he's recovering. Come live with us. Be his caretaker, or just be family. Anna didn't speak. Her tears answered for her. She never went back to the diner. Instead, she became a permanent part of their lives. Samuel thrived. And Anna, the small-town waitress who once lived paycheck to paycheck, found herself in a high-rise apartment, surrounded by love, purpose, and something she never expected. Belonging. In time, that love grew. Between her and James, quietly, respectfully. A bond forged not in romance but in compassion. Years later, when Samuel walked across the room at his school graduation, Anna sat beside James, no longer just a waitress, but the woman who changed everything.